This is the first day I've been out for months, actually. So I've got the scrim cover, and I'm going to cook up my scram. Lunch in a minute. I've got some guests with me, of course, the usual crowd, the wolves. And so, just a quick look around the digs. The usual camo basher, cheap one, but it does a great job. I like it because it's lightweight and it's cheap to buy, so, and they're very waterproof actually. So the bedroom, as you can see, is very untidy, which is not very military on me, but there we go, I'm a civilian after all. But now I'm going to cook some lunch. But first of all, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. I've been almost exactly a year ago I started my YouTube channel, and I've now got 200 subscribers, which is rather nice, and about 15 or 20 short films uploaded, and something like, I don't know, was it 7,000 or 8,000 hits? So it's a small channel with a small following, but I'm really grateful to everybody who have subscribed and made so many hundreds of nice comments over the months. It's given me encouragement to keep on going with this pastime hobby. And, so this year I'm going to carry on as before, at least if I can once a month or more, and get out. And but I think my emphasis won't be so much bug outs, because I can only do about 4 bug outs a year, I think. But I can get the occasional afternoon. What am I going to do with the afternoons and make it interesting for my viewers? Well, we do have a new beagle puppy coming along in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, so we'll have to train that until it becomes a bushcrafting beagle, along with the old veteran that it will learn from. That's me, of course, and its buddy. So this little terrier here has been on loan again, and you can see it's an amazing creature. It's actually extremely obedient. If you ask it to come, it does, and you know, it's quite a pack animal. Of course, it's grown up with a household of 4 children and 2 adults, so it's quite used to sharing space and doing what it's told. So that's the team for this afternoon. So the next objective is to get out into the sunshine on the edge of the plantation. I am quite high up actually. It is kind of a low altitude, not bug out, but a low altitude day camp, and it's quite a bit of wind out there, but the sun is breaking through, so I'm going to try and get a bit of heat out of it and have a cook up. So stay tuned. For today's kitchen, I brought with me the old-fashioned cadet system, but I'm using gas because I'm in a plantation today, so I didn't want to run the risk of causing any problems. But then the ground is so wet that it probably wouldn't be a problem. Nonetheless, it's better to be safe than sorry, so we use the old trusted method of high-speed gas. It's always good to get these platforms for your gas cylinder, because you don't want it falling over just before you're about to eat the stuff you've prepared. So there we are, couldn't get any easier than that, and nicely compact. Not quite stealth, because it's, let's face it, it'll make a noise. But hey, this is just about having fun, not taking life too seriously. I've had a few critics over the last while saying, oh, 1 or 2 of the movies, comments, trolls coming back to me and complaining that I'm not stealth enough. Well, yeah, I'm not really stealth enough, because I'm not really a proper serviceman. I'm just having a little bit of fun, and that's what it's all about. So here we go. Make sure that the gas is turned off before you apply the cylinder, and it won't escape as much. And then you put it in carefully onto the threads, turn it in, keep it moving, and that's you connected. As ever, it's wise to keep your gas warm, so then when you come to ignite it, there's no difficulties. So I'm using the smaller of the two containers, and the dog of course is taking great interest in the gasoline. No, no, no. And as if she hadn't seen this before, because her owners are very keen campers. Right, the spark's working, on with the stove. Wow, isn't that efficient? Very nice. I don't think the dog is stupid enough to go too close to a flame. And then on with the smaller of the two, reasonably stable, and we're keeping life simple. Not cowboy breakfast, but we're having a nice spicy soup for lunch instead. So that won't take long to heat up. Take all the rubbish home with us and recycle it. Put a cover over this and we'll give it a stir, and it's ready to be stirred. And that's the system. Well, I think that looks hot enough, so I think I'll go and join the squaddies out in the sunshine. It's a bit hot, sorry about this. You probably wouldn't enjoy it. It's only boring soup. However, I might let you lick the pot afterwards. So as I was saying, I'm sorry I couldn't get you a high altitude or low altitude blizzard situation because the weather wasn't really there for it. But you know, it's still early doors. Another 2 to 4 weeks and we could have that kind of weather as we did last year with the huge storms we had from the beast from the east, which everybody's sick of hearing about, but it was a big event. Not likely to repeat itself, surely, for a long time. Oh, this looks delicious. Barbecued soup. Slightly burnt at the edges, but delicious. That was a quick response, I know. But yeah, very nice. There's something about eating in a remote and wilderness place. I've always liked that, you know, getting out into the wilderness and bringing a bit of comfort and civilization to it. You saw me earlier changing into a dry t-shirt. You know, when you walk out into the hills and across the moors as I've done today, you do build up quite a sweat. And if you're going to be comfortable when you set up camp, you've got to really take dry clothes every time. Even if you're just doing hill walking, you take a change of dry clothes. Off with the wet t-shirt at least, and on with a fleece and t-shirt if you need it, and of course a windproof Gore-Tex jacket, whatever make it is, and you're set to be comfortable. But when you're out in the wilds, in the mountains particularly, you should always take dry clothes, completely sealed and safe, because when you finally bivvy down, you don't want to be damp and cold. And you can always walk back to base the next day with the dry clothes that you've put on. Anyway, we all know that if we're experts. But I thought it might also be interesting, apart from bushcraft beagle material in my short films over the next 2 years, training a beagle to be obedient, which goes against the grain because they have a reputation for not being obedient, but you know, this one is. And this terrier is pretty good as well. It all depends on the potty training and how you bring them up. But I suppose 1 in 10 beagles and 1 in 10 terriers are just going to be solitary creatures and not do anything you want them to. A bit like people, I suppose. So you just have to accept that's their nature. But most dogs, if you bring them up under a strict military style regime, gentle but firm, they turn out really good companions. So, apart from beagle bushcrafting, I think it also might have a second theme, and that would be thoughts from the forest. And then the third theme is simple recipes. So, simple forest recipes, thoughts from the forest, beagle, bushcraft will be the three threads that might go through my filmmaking, just to keep it even remotely interesting. And of course, trying out gear. I have to say, as far as gear goes, I like the Army Cadet traditional wartime, post-war Britain type cans. They are so simple and well designed. You can pack things in them and you can use them as I did just now, fairly with great versatility. You can shave in them, wash in them, you can cook in them, you can drink from them, and goodness knows what else you could probably do with them. I've no idea, but I won't go there. But yeah, good kit. Always good to have one of those in standby. Of course, I like my BCB mug. It's big, get bigger portions after all. But as far as equipment goes, I have to say that these para boots from the German Air Force were, I think, 17 quid. They're a really good bargain, and they are fantastic quality. The soles are thick and good firm grip, and the support of the ankles. So you can go through really tough terrain like this, and it's a walk in the park. I cannot overemphasize enough advantages, I should say, of having good footwear. Trousers, lined, fleeced, but I think, you know, for me I prefer baggy, lined fleece trousers in the winter, but a pair of army trousers with warm leggings would be just as good as lots of people prefer to use. So that's all I have to say today for thoughts from the forest. Not too much in-depth thoughts from the forest, but I will try and deepen my exchange with you over the next months and years. What a wonderful medium. Thank you, YouTube. The good thing about having a bushcraft friend like a terrier is it cleans all the dishes for you, and all you've got to do afterwards is sterilise them and boil up. Fantastic piece of kit. The dog, I mean. Look at that wild country out there. Look at this. Handiwork of a terrier. Pretty good. Who needs a dishwasher when you're bushcrafting? When you've got one of these. Even if her mouth is now covered in tomato sauce, it will be smelly for days to come. She's really enjoyed herself. Oh, and a closer look at the Spork. This one is by P.S. Cook. Find Us. I got it from Amazon. I like it. It's very strong, and it's going to, you know, live me out anyway, that's for sure. And it has a bottle opener for the occasional bottle of beer, a nice level spoon for cooking, and fairly sharp fork with a serrated edge for cutting the corner off a piece of sirloin steak if you do happen to have it. A hole if you want to hang it from something with a small carabiner. And what I find interesting is this. This looks like a tin opener included. So you press that into the tin and put this on the other side of the rim of the tin, and hopefully, I think it is sharp enough, you'll be able to open your tin with it, working your way along like that. So it's a very good piece of kit. I have to give them 100 marks for design. Really excellent. So that's the product there. P.S. Cook.